So now we've opened with me getting used. You fucking wrecked.
Fuck's sake.
Get debated.
Trust me.
Okay, we should be live. How's your live, okay. And the video settings don't seem to be destroying anything or changing anything. CPU usage is up a little bit. Yeah, all my settings are holding grand, so alright. Welcome back to Old Guard. D&D 5e homebrewed adventure, where our party is currently in the realm of Isgard, accompanied by the elven god Carlon Litharian, having just passed a trial by combat declared by Odin himself, and they went to rest for it was just a short time, but as we left off at the end of the last session, everyone had sat down for food and to eat and replenish a little bit of nourishment after such a grueling combat. And
drinking Catavir's fake wine.
Yes, drinking fake wine, as the party has no wine anymore. A tragedy, a travesty. But Cassivir's doing really what Cassivir does best, and improvising with a lot of prestidigitation. So we pick back up as the party sits around the crackling fire that had been rebuilt from the night before by Ayer, as you guys had sat around here to chat and drink and tell stories before combat. But Ayer's now gone. You're left feeling sort of alone or empty now that the Valkyrs are gone. Especially Morgan, Bernard, although Bernard really can't communicate that, and Cassivir. Having seen just how many Valkyrs there were, knowing that they had all left, it's a bit like whenever you're walking around somewhere and there should be people, there should be cars, there should be lights, there's nothing. That eerie feeling, that does take over you a little bit. But at the fire, Carlin is just talking to whoever's talking, and you're just resting from the effects of the combat. It's about midday. You were challenged very, very early in the morning. The last watch had been coming to an end. Ayer had taken some time before looking to fight, which you're looking at an hour or so for a good proper feast, a good proper drink, a good proper meal, and you had a brief stint in combat, and you've been sitting for about an hour or so now, so it is about midday here. Although anyone with a passive perception above, say, 12 will have noticed that even though it's midday, you can quite clearly see the moon in the sky. Yeah, possibly Morgan's 29 would see it. 25? 23,
I think.
Yeah, something.
20 too many.
Yeah, something silly. You'll have noticed this pretty much instantly. The moon holds its position in the sky, regardless of the time of the day.
Do we have a sun as well, or is it just
Yes.
just the moon?
No, you've got a sun
so
too.
Contrasted.
This sounds like bullshit. Chicanery.
We already know we're on our way to the city where Salune lives, though, right?
Yes.
Hang on, I don't know if Laurie would know who that is. or whether I just know who that is.
No, you would know Selune. You would know her
Okay.
affiliations. She's one of the biggest deities
Yeah, that's
that is worshipped among the land. Anyone who's been anywhere near a city will know the clerics of
Oh,
Selune.
my clerics were picking up the watch when the other clerics couldn't do it. That's right.
Yep.
The card ones, yeah.
Cord, that's the one.
Well, there was mostly you seen Siren Ray and Order knights taking the watch, as opposed to Selune's clerics.
Just give me a recap here. Just Selene is like the goddess of titties and baby oil or something, right?
No, that's Sune. All things beautiful and extravagant and stuff like that. Selune is of the night, of the moon, of
Travelers.
travelers, of good-natured lichens.
I know
so-
like other less impressive god.
Well, Sune resides within the domains of Selune. To get to Argentile, you will have to pass through his city of Brightwater anyway.
I'm going to excuse myself for a second and breathe on my weapon to refill it.
While she's doing that, can I manage to grab Casimir? I just kind of like take him aside for a wee sec.
Yeah, Cass is already aside. At the end of the last session,
better.
Cass had actually taken a little jaunt just off on his own to reflect. So you would be approaching Casimir as opposed to taking Casimir aside.
Alright, fair enough. Well, I'll go up to him anyway then. Like, I don't want to be too happy about it. Obviously, he's an elf or half elf, so like I'll just come up and like kind of like pat him on the shoulder and just let him know that, you know, although you died this time, that we're completely safe. In the future, that may not be the case. But in the future, I can also help that. I can stop that from happening to you. I promise you, I won't let you die.
I'm not entirely sure it's always going to be within your power to stop. It's not that I'm. It's just a little much you're taking. I never really expected it to hurt quite so much.
I just wanted to like, kind of like conjure divine light in my hand and just like, even if it's just like a wee healing word, and just like hit him with it and say, it hurts now, but it won't. Or when the time comes, it'll be fine. My God's given me the power to see both sides of this. I can help.
Something to look forward to.
I'll just pat him on the back and walk away from him.
Thank you.
Don't want to be seen too sappy with Elf. So, bless you. But yeah, I had to follow back over to the campfire, let Cass mill it over, kind of thing.
Alright.
Casimir over there playing fucking Radiohead tunes.
Man, it's gonna be REM, Losing My Religion, right?
Or fucking Mad World.
Jesus Christ, we're about 4 songs off of listen to fucking Johnny Cash Hurt.
Hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, no, yeah, you're still, are you still setting yourself aside, or are you going to join the group?
It'll probably take a bit more time just to chew things over, then he'll amble back over.
Alright. So, when you finally join back over, Carlin gives you a look and says, well, I'm glad you're all back here together. And I'm glad everyone survived, roughly. I realized that there was death, but Odin's word is true. If you were good of heart, you were in no danger. Save for perhaps Ayer enjoying battle a little too much.
Suppose danger must be a relative term.
It is around here these days, when danger isn't bodily harm but being pulled from your seat of power.
Oh yes, nobody wants to lose their job.
Exactly.
Question. If there's quite a lot of those feisty winged ladies, correct?
The Valkyr, correct.
What do you need us for?
The
One of them
Valkyr.
quite handily dispatched several of us with barely won.
Yeah, the Valkyr suffer the same issue that we suffer. They're of divine origin. They're of divine planes. They reside here as natural habitants of this plane, and as such, they find their combat against the beast to be ineffective. They can throw their bodies against the beast for a while. The Valkyrs are protecting some of the lands here, some of the moats. But really, it's the buy time. The only land here that remains truly safe is Valhalla, which is why Odin is so free to run wild. If the creature's gotten within the range of Valhalla twice, and both times every single soul within Valhalla was willing to die to fight the creature, and it became just too much. It was a wave of bodies against it. They couldn't wound it, but they drove it back. There isn't that force anywhere else on the realm. Our heavenly hosts, our devas, they strike against it, but they deal no damage. The condition worsens when they get touched. Rot begins to spread on them. The only person who was here that isn't of this realm who did harm it, the rot did not spread on them. If it's of divine origin, you can assume that it's useless.
Well, hopefully it can't take much of it.
At least you know in battle you'll have the aid of the armies as well. It will not be just you versus a monstrous creature like this. There'll be enough things throwing and trying to pin it down for you. Physical acts that can't be repelled. But in the end, it's you that's going to have to do the damage. It's you that's going to have to burn through this husk of a creature. So how do you all feel after your fight with Ayer? Anyone feeling like they're not ready to travel yet? Laurie? You got hit pretty badly early on there.
I'll be ready to go. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay. And it seems our dead men here are good to go, yeah?
Absolutely. Reinvigorated.
Kethir shrugs.
Okay. Tiki? It looked like some of those strikes took you by surprise, did more damage than you thought.
Meh, I'm standing.
That's true. And someone standing that stayed well within damage distance, but just outside our ears. Calissa, you fought that very well.
Thank you.
So
But
everyone,
I'm fine to go.
okay. Well, once we cross the forest, there's no way for us to bypass the for lack of better term, the scar within the forest. And right now there are fetid creatures being born of the rot and the ooze that manages to exist and pervade through all of the land that has been touched by the beast while hunting. If we travel through, we might be able to pass by without combat, but every day that scar remains, no problem. There is more sinister creatures being born of the ooze, things that shouldn't be here. Just 2 days ago, the first devil to ever exist within Isgard crawled from the ooze. It's only a matter of time before things get out of hand. But once we pass the scar within the forest, there are many paths that we can take. Each one with its own merit, each one with its own dangers. I have no preference as to which way we go. I see danger in every path, but I trust that having got as far as you have, having become as strong as you have, you can make the decision and lead through there, whichever path you choose to take, should we get that far. It'll be interesting. There'll be challenges along the way that really ought to be held at bay, but some of the creatures around here are very animalistic, a lot of the people around here are very pride driven, so yeah, it depends where we go. But I'll follow you wherever we decide to go. But first we have to pass by the scar of the forest.
Let's go then. And I start packing Bernard's saddlebags and just get ready to go.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Alright, so Carlin is going to continue just finishing up his food. He really has nothing with him that requires packing, so while you guys are taking care and making sure everything's taken care of, Carlin finishes up, and when you're ready to go, you set off. Who would be leading the pack through the forest?
I think I would.
Yeah, because Carlin is not leading the group here.
I'd say I'm probably quite comfortable here, so I wouldn't mind doing it.
I'd be front just as the muscle, but I'm not leading in any way. Just bodyguarding, basically.
Alright. Give us a survival check then, Morgan.
The sheep would ever open.
A 23, alright. The forest isn't familiar territory, but you're able to use the fact that earlier you'd noticed that the moon is still in the sky, and the general layout of where the coast seems to be, that you know how to track ahead and continue checking to make sure you're on the right track. The slog through the forest is quite difficult. Can I get a dex dex check from everybody?
Oh no.
Well, wow. We're all a sporty bunch.
And then once, I think Andy had to take a call there. But realistically, with enough people with those roles, you're moving at half speed essentially through this forest. As it gets very thick along the way, it's really difficult terrain. A lot of the trees are a lot bigger than normal as well, and roots that jut out are no longer a problem of tripping over them, but rather climbing over them, and that process takes a while. The normal sort of aspect of the forest is calm. There is no real hunting going on this deep into the forest, and you see that animals are not really as common here, and your best guess would be that you're coming close to areas that start to be afflicted by the rot. It makes sense that creatures now move away from here rather than hang around. But for now, the rot is not within range. And as you are going, is it just wandering in silence? Is there anything that anyone is looking to bring up along the way? Any concerns right now? As Corlin is sort of yapping with whoever will listen, more or less. But it's more like frantic sort of talk to distract himself rather than any meaningful conversation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyone with a passive insight of like 15 or higher, so if you've got like a +5 to insight,
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell that he's worried, he's scared.
Is he seemingly looking around him a lot while he's talking, or is it just kind of filling the space?
It's definitely filling the
Right,
silence. Roll an actual insight check.
Jesus.
Yeah, so given that you had the pass on you had enough to perceive already that is nervousness, I'd say you have advantage and you crit.
Okay.
Well, not 20 it. You can't crit the check. Yeah, so you feel like there's a reason that Odin told Corlin to stay out of the combat between yourselves and Ayer. And you feel that there's nothing here that worries him in terms of being attacked. He's not looking around nervously. He carries himself very calmly, but it's just his erratic conversation that is betraying him. His eyes don't give away any sense of nervousness. His general disposition is one of a calm, confident person, but it's just that you notice like someone who's talking too much or just a little quickly, or the topics switch around a lot. Someone talking for the sake of talking to keep their mind off something, but you definitely don't sense any feeling of fear of imminent attack.
Okay.
You feel like if there was an imminent attack that he could fight, he would likely just fight it, and it would be okay.
What is Corlon's not seat of power, but you know what I mean? What's like his kind of realm in this card?
Corlon is one of the lower gods in comparison to the likes of Selûne and Sune and Odin. Corlon is the seat and head of a council of elves that grant power to elves and elves pray to.
Yeah.
Along with his wife Sehanine Moonbow and various others. He is more of a council that exists alongside the gods than he is a true power. You probably will not find clerics of Corellon anywhere, but you will find people praising him. You will find people praying to him.
Okay.
Because as a member of the council, they do intercede in the prime material plane. So
Okay.
that's why when his wife was being hunted and she returned here, his wife was being hunted because they have enough divine power to be of interest to the creature.
Mhm.
But once his wife was here and the creature caught scent of Selune being here and all the other gods, it drove the creature wild, and that's why it was like immediately off them and onto
Right.
the big gods, and that's why he's able to travel.
Okay.
And
And
that would all be knowledge that you would like have gathered or presumed
Yeah.
by now as well, based on conversations you've had.
has he made much mention of his wife?
Not particularly.
We were told that she was being hunted.
Yeah, she was being hunted, but she returned home, and then the creature changed its attention to Selune because
Right.
Corellon and Sahanin reside within Argentil, the city
Right.
of Selune, and he feared that if she ventured forth, because it had her scent, it had been tracing her, she would be in danger. That's why he came.
Right. Okay.
But he has told you that they are fortified within Argentil. The creature cannot breach the city yet,
Right.
and that's why the help is needed, because once the creature does breach the city, it would be a disaster.
So realistically, we're probably going to go straight to Argentine. That's where we're headed now.
No, right now you're on the very entrance to the plane. Isgard
Right.
itself is enormous.
Yeah.
You could see just from where you were that the land spreads pretty far. You're looking at maybe a day and a bit travel.
Mhm.
Until the mountain range at the north, and that means going across the scar of the forest through some more rocky terrain to the mountains. It wasn't too long to the coastline, but that was going towards the east, and then the west is a mountain range that you'd just come out of, where the Path of the Ancients is carved into. So you've got a while to travel here before you get anywhere else. The city of Argentil is not even on your radar right now.
Right.
And
Okay.
if it was, Corellon you get the feeling you would be rushing towards it.
Okay.
But right now it's such a trek away that moving at a fast pace it would just tire you out to the point where you would be exhausted. Once you got there, you'd be useless. It's better to
Right.
move slowly.
And would he be able to, because he resides in Argentina, would he have like a kind of, not a sixth sense as such, but would he have a feeling, if the city was to breach, would he know?
If the city was breached, he would definitely know.
Right. Okay.
But that would be, if the city gets breached, then you probably make an intelligence check. Actually, let me see if this was something you would piece together.
Because I'm assuming that if the city gets breached, then it's like the arcane or the divine spells would kind of message him or something. The divine would message him. But
Yeah, that's basically it. You've higher than a 10, it's whatever. Yeah, essentially, if the city gets breached, then there's no point in not using your divine power.
yeah.
And there would just be like a message. He would be alerted as well. Everyone would be alerted.
Okay. I suppose I'll keep an eye on him then more than anything. Obviously he's nervous, but I would say probably like more fearful for his wife that hope we get there, or in that vein at least anyway.
Yeah, definitely separation. during this time in particular,
Right,
during these
okay.
events.
That's fine then.
So you're still traveling through the forest, but like I said, the animals have sort of shrunk away. The trees are kind of getting less dense, and you notice this like sparseness of life here. Can I get a round of perception checks from people that are going to be looking out for sure? Anyone who is,
Laurie's on
Maybe-
like
Oh,
high
sure.
alert right now.
Mm.
yeah. So
Bad roll.
essentially, Tiki, you're just a bit distracted. Casimir is yapping with Carlin, which makes sense.
No, Kesavir be sort of hanging back, dejected. Not really. paying
you're
attention.
way at the back.
Yeah, probably actually.
Okay, make a perception check with advantage.
Laurie is also near the back of the group.
Okay, well yours would be with advantage as well, and it means nothing for either of you. Well played.
No.
Uh,
I wasn't saying it for advantage.
It's like I could have advantage, but
I mean, I was in the midst of saying it when you said it anyway, so it's fine. I didn't assume you were doing it for advantage. Yeah, so the people up front who are trying to keep an eye out, the auditory information is very hard to gather as there is the constant talk, but it does seem silent. Visually, it's very clear to see for Morgan and Casimir that the trees here are starting to be decolored. Their leaves are off, and it's very for the people at the front that you're paying attention in front of you, but Cass at the back and Laura at the back, you're sort of looking around more. You're drinking in the whole scene with the whole party and surroundings, as opposed to the people at the front who are like pinpoint trying to focus ahead of them. But Morgan, it's impossible for you to not catch things anyway. So yeah, you're starting to see discoloration in the trees here. Very minor, but it's something that's so drastically obvious to the pair of you. And you've been traveling for a good couple of hours now since you're traveling at half speed. You would probably think that ahead along the way, within your next hour of travel, you're going to reach the Scar and the land.
Oh, so we're not actually at the Scar, we're on the way to it, sorry.
Yeah. You're approaching it for now. This is an area where you just noticed that there, for a little bit, the past 20 minutes or so, animals have started to sparse out, and any animals you have seen have been running south. So now you're starting to see why. You're starting to see rot spread this far down.
Okay.
So there is the path ahead to cut through the forest just straight as best you can. Are you just continuing to take that path knowing that you're about to enter the Scar?
I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything.
Okay, just yeah, our end goal is essentially to find Gorm, and we know that at least he came this way. So, I would suggest
Yes.
probably.
Good to see the destruction his path leaves.
Yeah, true. That's get a first-hand experience of it.
All right, then. With your previous survival check in mind, your travel is maintained at the speed that you were keeping up now, but it's a little faster because a lot of the routes they're not as big here. It's not climbing. It's like just sort of getting over them.
Mhm.
And it takes about 20 minutes before you see ahead of you through the trees the first of the trees, which are now just completely they're dead. Like, you can see trees that have one side of them exposed on the north that are grayed and black, and parts are like occasionally just dropping off as you see like an active rot tearing into them. But once you notice these trees and you look ahead, you start to see like actual trees in states of decay. Brown, like top halves of trees fallen to the ground with their branches spread everywhere because the rot has ate through the trunk. You can see, it's everything's very built piled on top of each other from all the collapsing of the trees around here. It's definitely difficult terrain here, but on the ground there's also like the starts of what looks like black ooze on the floor. About 100 feet ahead of you, start to see the black like ooze on the floor. It just looks like an oil spill, more or less.
Just out of curiosity, is it flammable? I mean, can I, using Phoenix Sorcery, I can just ignite fires at will.
You can try.
I'll try and pick a sort of isolated patch of it,
Yeah.
just in case it fucking goes off. And I'll send a spark into it.
As you blast the spark into it, the fire flickers for the briefest of seconds before being immediately extinguished. And it's faster than you thought it would happen. Make an insight check with advantage, considering you're a Phoenix Sorcerer and you know how the fuck fire works, and that is not it. It looks like the state of decay and the state of rot here is just absorbing the energy that you put into it as well. And after a few seconds, you see it grow. The patch grows a little bit more.
It seems that it's hungry for life. Any life.
Is it dangerous for us to touch it?
Would I have
Carlin just
Sorry.
says it's dangerous for me to touch it. I don't know about you.
well, let's err on the side of caution.
Okay, no touchy.
As you say that, Carlin steps between the pair of you and points forward and says it's going to be a problem for not touching anything. If any of you can fly, why don't you try flying upwards and tell everyone what you see? Just ahead of you, maybe 300 feet.
Laurie does as she's told.
Make a perception check with advantage.
Nat 20.
As you fly above what's left of the canopy here, you realize that there's not much of a canopy ahead as it's starting to be destroyed. The rot and the ooze, there's a good maybe 200 feet of it across this scarring in the earth, which is just ahead of this piled of decayed trees in front of you. It's obscured from view right now because of the trees, but once you fly up and you can see, the gorge that has been cut here by this creature, the rot has seeped at least 200 feet across, and as you've seen from the starts of the touch of decoloration in the trees, the rotted north facing ones, it's spreading like widely, and you can see it spreads widely on the other side too. Slowly but surely this rot is making its way across, but you also make out movement in the middle of the gorge. This gorge is, bear with me here, just on the thing. So user like down here, and there's a tree line here that's blocking your view of this gorge, and it continues on this way here. But with Laurie in the air, you can see way up ahead that the gorge cuts across like that as well, and then turns upwards like that. So that just continues when you go off the screen. Sweet. So this behind the trees curves up as well at a certain point. But in amongst here in this area, there is movement beneath the like layer of ooze. You can see like things moving, and it's like something that hasn't quite broke the top of the water, but you know that there's something there. It looks like that. It looks like there's things moving inside this ooze, like wading through it, but you can't pick out what they are.
I'm pretty sure Laurie still has a ring, which means Morgan and Cass can also see this.
So you're looking to put it out via the ring?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have one.
I'm not sure who has
Probably.
them, so
Because
I think I still have them.
Oh,
Or
really?
did I give it to you?
Well, I had it when we were.
Oh yeah, because you were
heading to the
flying.
step. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. Then I probably gave you mine. I'm not sure.
so you reach out with the image into the ring the way you've been doing.
Okay, cool.
You do the normal transmission. Morgan and Cass, you don't feel or see anything at all.
Does it work?
It's like it's not even. You wouldn't even notice that something is trying to be transmitted. It's a dead line. There's nothing there.
Mm.
Like you don't feel like something's trying to be transmitted, but it's not. You're not getting like a black screen. Nothing. You have no idea that Laurie is attempting this.
Do I get like a signal block? Or, as far as I'm concerned, it's working.
Yeah,
To the
you.
best of my knowledge.
You've done everything that you do before, everything that you've done until now, and nothing. You wouldn't feel anything anyway. So it feels like you've done everything step by step that you have to do. You'd imagine it worked.
Alright, then can I fly down a tiny bit lower towards the ooze? I
Yeah.
want to try and get a better look at what's going on. And I have no idea that my friends can't see what I'm doing, so...
Yeah, no problem. How far? The ooze is about 100 feet forward. But the patches of it that Casimir was using are closer. But they actually see like the proper thick ooze. It's about
Yeah,
100.
like down in the gorge.
Okay. So
So I'm hovering like, I don't know, like 20 feet above it. That's a good range for looking at shit.
yeah. So you drop down, swoop down, and hover about 20 feet above the ooze near the edge closest to the party. Yeah, or are you going like out into the center?
Like, out towards the center, because as far as I know, my party can see what I'm doing, so I'm trying to get the best look for them that I can get, since I'm the only one that can fly.
That's not actually true. Isabel's going to fly over.
Oh, you get that the loot
Yeah,
or
give a
something?
look.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, if anybody was so inclined.
So just it's more,
Laurie does not know about that you can all fly now. New information.
I can't.
Same.
I can make you fly.
it's mostly that Kesper's sort of confused by that you're diving closer to it, and just sort of.
Yeah, you just kind of see me disappear out the sky.
What you doing?
So Cass, you see as you take off and just fucking blast forward, you're moving 60 feet per round. You catch up with her in no time, and you see that she's actually stopped, and she's hovering 20 feet above the ground, and you come up behind her now, as she's like inspecting the ooze further out into the center of the gorge.
Being
What is-
jumpy and not expecting it, I'm going to draw my sword.
Whoa!
Cass, why are you flying?
I just came to see what you were doing. So
What do you mean you came to see? I was showing you through the ring.
well, it's not working.
Morgan, can you hear me?
No response.
I'll try as well.
Yep, same as with Laurie. No response. It's not. It's. If he was right, if Casper was right there, Laurie, you would expect to hear him and then hear it at the same
Yeah.
time in your head. You don't.
And they're like, Cass, look. And I'm going to point down at the movie ooze.
Well, yeah, I was going to say I'll get my spyglass out, but I don't need him 20
Can we do like an investigation to see if we can figure out like if it's like one creature, if it's not a creature, if it's just like bubbles of bile?
Yeah.
Is your passive investigation higher than 10?
Yes.
It is way more than one creature.
Okay, it's definitely creatures though. It's not
Yes,
just like
creatures.
gaseous bubbles.
No. It's creatures. You can make it out as multiple things because of the way they move. They leave a trail and stuff, but it's very hard to tell what they are.
Is
So
it kind of
if-
like, you know, in Lord of the Rings when they pull the Uruk-hai out of the tar pit or whatever the fuck it is?
Well, it's not like.
But we can't actually tell that it's like orc shaped or whatever shape it is.
Kind of, I suppose. It's like. Have you ever seen like videos of like dolphins or something where they're like just about to breach the water, and you can see just like the start of a shape and the water running off its back?
Yeah.
It's like exactly like that. It's like something that is just at below the surface or is right at the surface, and it's just like enough that when they walk, it sludges over the top of them.
We're gonna need to find a way to cross this, Cass, and I don't think wading is an option.
No. It's revolting.
And I'd rather
Uh-huh.
not see you guys die again.
Oh, that makes two of us. How? Sorry, how wide is it? Like,
It's like
Um,
200 feet,
Yeah,
right?
about 200 feet across.
How strong is Laurie?
Pretty strong. Well, 16. Pretty strong.
Okay, yes, is 14. I dare say we could probably just ferry a few between us.
Well, I mean, Calissa must weigh like nothing. Right?
Yeah, I was more thinking the humongous
sort of
dragonborn.
Make the
managed.
dragonborn fly, and she can carry someone.
And plus, dwarves low center of gravity.
And chainmail.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Wait, how are you flying, Cass? Did you already tell me this?
Oh, sorry, that's the harp. I'll pluck it.
Oh. Like one of those
Ding, ding, ding,
little
ding,
cupids or something.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Very, angelic. Let's go and get everyone else. She's gonna fly off in embarrassment.
Follow behind, playing a fucking Lilton tune.
Alright, make a performance check.
I was going to say, if he can play sarcastically.
Womp womp.
Everybody that plays fucking Smoke on the Water is playing guitar sarcastically, don't worry. Even though it's a fucking banger. Yeah, so as you're playing, you feel something impact you in the back. Does a 24 hit your AC?
Yes.
I imagine so. As you look back, you see something that just hit your back and glanced off. It looks like a fucking pile of sludge, but as the sludge drips off, there's a javelin underneath it, and the javelin just grazes off you and hits you for 5 points of damage. It like falls out of the sky and lands in the rot and just completely gets like fucking absorbed instantly. Make a perception check real quick.
Yeah, too busy shrieking.
Yeah, you just a javelin just came fucking from nowhere and smashed into you.
Why does everything always try and fuck up Kess's clothes?
You can't quite pinpoint where it's at. You've no way to find the target here.
Have I got a general direction?
Yeah, behind you for sure. 100% directly. Not like, I don't even mean like back. I'm not saying behind you as in like not in front. I mean it's not back left. It's not back. It's like 100% came straight from behind you.
I'm going to put a fireball where I thought it came from.
Did I perceive Kess just getting hit?
Yeah, you would have heard him shrieking.
Okay. That's the sound of a manly Kess right there.
Yeah, it's pretty masculine. Shit, where's my spellbook? There it is.
At least his like howling was
Kaboom,
like it was
motherfucker.
musical. Alright. So you turn around and guess roughly where it was, and
I'm hoping to guess within 25 feet.
yeah, that's fine. The little bead of energy comes out of the staff and begins to just travel down in an arc, and as that little tiny red bead reaches its destination, it erupts into an explosion that violently like forces all of the ooze there to be blasted apart. And as the ooze gets like blasted away by the sheer force of the explosion, for a brief second there is about 13 orcs that are revealed, enormous, like more muscular than normal, far bigger than normal orcs that just get consumed in this fire, and they just look up towards you. There is quite clearly burn marks on some of them, and the ooze after the blast just begins to like slowly sludge back in, and as you watch, the orcs are talking among themselves. A few of them point up towards you, but the ooze consumes over the top of them again, and you can now see that image of the thing moving just below the surface, but it's moving towards where you are, and you put together that there are at least orcs of some description under there.
Yeah, I'll fly by, grab Laurie's hand, and take off at full speed towards Barry.
So that gets you moving, and Laurie, you get moving like slightly faster than you're used to flying as well. It's like part flying, part getting dragged along.
It's like a kite behind Kess.
more or less, yeah.
But if I realise that our wings aren't quite up to the task, I'll slow down.
But yeah, you land without anything else being thrown at you.
Well, good news and bad news.
Bad news. Mostly bad news.
Mostly bad news.
And I'm gonna look at Cass. Be like,
Well,
you
let's see
explain.
then.
I'm gonna catch my breath.
Yes, there's quite a lot of ooze. Seems to be spreading out about 200 feet, and it's spreading. I suppose it's feeding on whatever energy there is around in the surrounding vegetation. Coralon, I would suggest that you burn it all back. Try and leave a desolation around it so it stops spreading. Otherwise, it's not going to stop. But a slightly more pressing concern is that it appears to be full of orcs.
And what's the good news?
Sorry, there is none. I just hope to pick your spirits up a little.
Well done.
Cass can fly now. That's kind of good news.
Is it?
Yes. Apparently quite fast.
Very fast.
So there's orcs here? How?
Well, I didn't stick a javelin out my own back, and I turn around.
No, I know, but how? I thought this was... I mean, they're evil, right?
Probably.
Hashtag not all orcs.
Well, I doubt that ooze is... So's the ooze.
So it looks like Warren brought friends with him. Perfect.
How many?
A lot.
Yes, the patch I uncovered seemed to be about 20 or so.
Probably room for half an army in that gorge.
Yeah, and they're large. I mean, orcs tend to be large. These are large for orcs. Kalissa, maybe you can, tell them to leave.
I can certainly try.
I want this to work so much.
Disguise self, orc queen.
Don't need to disguise myself for that.
But I'm going to get my spyglass out and have a look at the ooze to see if it's the undulating bit that seems to be orcs is moving towards us.
It is.
They're coming.
Can we fight them? Are there? I mean, if there's many coming for us, should we fight or run?
How bothered did they look by that fireball?
You look like you hurt them, but they definitely look like they were going to just keep coming.
There's a lot of rotted trees. Is there how far is there between us and them right now?
About 125 feet.
Anyway, we could use some of the fallen trees to make a makeshift barricade as they're running in, so we kind of funnel them more than anything.
Yeah, you could. There are trees that are half rotted that wouldn't take much damage to fell. And
Yeah.
you could get Tiki. I'm sure Tiki with an axe would be able to chop things down in the direction that would definitely funnel creatures towards where you are.
I'll try and buy some time. And Kesvir takes off and he's going to drone strike them.
Laurie will join in with the oath bow.
All right.
I guess I'll start jumping.
I'll help you and start moving shit.
All right. Can I get a strength check from both of you, and then can I get follow-up attacks by Laurie with the oath bow?
What's Kalissa doing? I'm a chill.
You can have some effects if you want. Some smoke or some shot.
Kalissa spell name base. Base.
Yeah.
When you say barricade, are you just building another throne?
I mean,
She sits on it, it's a throne.
exactly.
Make another attack as well, Laurie.
wish you could smite on ranged attacks. That would be really helpful.
Can you not?
Nope. Melee.
Oh, you could actually use thaumaturgy to kind of like make the tremors in the ground.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so as Cass goes up to begin drone striking these, the two of you begin your work to create a funnel here in the environment.
Mhm.
Between the two of you, Tiki, these are not hard to cut down. They're already half rotted. Your axe or it just slices through the rot like butter, and then you can just destroy the back half of the tree. And then as the tree's coming down, you're able to drag and move it very quickly to where you want to create a funnel, and you just create about a little leeway, like say like that, and then like that, where they have to come in this way and they can't really flank around the like this. Oh, that's a shape. That's not a free hand. They can't really flank around like this.
Okay.
Unless they were to flank the entire way back around to here, in which case they would be like separated.
Yeah, perfect.
Kess, you are in the air. You have a fireball blasted down onto them, roughly where you see them moving again, and as you hit, you blast away with the impact of this the first fireball, massively damaging it. Like you see them flinch away now as this one engulfs them and begins to burn, as the layer of ooze is not as thick here. There's not as much protection for them. Because as you see them walk now, you can see they're about 8.5 feet tall. The ooze is dripping off them. It is not affecting them at all. You see, like it's not affecting their ability to move, but you see as the ooze like drops off, like drips down off their helm and down across their face, you can see like bone in their cheeks, and you can see like through one of their mouths at the side, and you can see like some of them have like skin that's like obviously burned off and stuff. These things are disgusting. They are rotted, they are fetid, they are just they are badly just decimated by the effects of this, but it doesn't look like it's causing them issue. Your best guess is that they are born of this and this is just how they look.
Ooh.
And
That'll
as
leave them.
the first explosion happens, Laurie immediately follows up with the gap in the ooze, being able to see where they are, and just hits bam, 1, 2 arrows directly into the armor, like Legolas finding the weakness. You just hit the neck and one under the arm, and one of them like reels back a little bit as a second fireball explodes before the first one, like as they're allowed to have any ooze settle over the top of them, and the second one just the second fireball explodes and blasts one of them off the feet, the one that had the arrows in, as he's now just laying on the ground, and it looks like he's not out, but it looks like he's down and he's trying to get back to his feet. The others have just abandoned him and begin to move, and as they do, they finally breach into where the trees are. But as they're doing that, you see just a bunch of half human, half jackal-headed creatures emerge from the ground, but these are friendly. You've seen them before. The spirit guardians begin to dance around where the entrance is, and as these orcs come in, they begin to jab out with their weapons and cut with hooked blades, and you have to roll a lot of saves. That's so you start 11 damage. You start like seeing them cut into them and leave like areas open. And what's the Hunger of Hadar again, Calissa?
That's the 20-foot radius sphere of milky tentacles.
Okay, and
It's repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
the is it save for half, or is it save and become restrained? I don't know.
think it's safe for Av. Let me just.
I will. Yeah, I'll give it a quick wee peek. Thing Warlock, but yeah, as the Hunger of Hadar, you open a gateway, 20-foot blank. Soft whispers and
Seems like
slurping
a
noises.
damage.
That's actually disgusting.
Jesus. Oh.
That's how I know.
Creatures that end this turn must make a dex save or take damage as the tentacles rub against it. Well, we're definitely going more Lawe, less hentai with this. As I feel like that's probably better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ouroboros is helping us here as opposed to fucking hentai mags. As the jackals are dancing and cutting and moving in circles, and the orcs finally make their way in, and they are standing amidst these like ghostly figurines. You see then from underneath, a darkness just pervades the entire area, and you hear just heavy roars as you hear the sound of like heavy impacts as things are bludgeoned against each other, where these orcs are just getting battered. At this point, they are currently within a radius that is, I believe, obscured from you guys. Hunger of Hadar. A sphere of blackness and bitter cold appears. Yes. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area. Creatures in the area are blinded. So yeah, they are now essentially in this like cube of or a sphere of darkness, as you see just the jackals dancing just outside it and then back into it. And every time like a jackal steps in, you hear a shriek as a blade like slices a creature, and then you hear like heavy battering sounds as something smashes down on top of them. And coming out the other end are, let me just grab some. Yeah, don't need that. Just need a token, boys. Come on. Be a good one.
I need to get myself a post-it note that says, Laurie is a level 5 fighter.
Yeah. A bunch of orcs now stumbling. They can't get much further this turn. They're still some of them are in completely covered by the some are completely covered by the Hunger of Hadar. Some of them are quite obviously like badly damaged. You see like shoulders that have been completely like smashed out of socket, and you see like where the jackals are like stepping out, you can see like one dash a hook around the creature's neck and pull through, and it like pulls straight through its neck, but it doesn't seem to cause physical damage. But you see the creature reach for its neck as if it's just had its throat slashed. Some of them are badly burned, like horrendously so. But for now, we'll roll initiative just to see how you guys do as these mutated orcs begin to make their way towards the party.
SM orc.
I have a mechanical question, Stevie.
Yes.
Laurie swore her oath bow against Ayer. Does it still, like, accept that she died even though she bounced back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Your oath bow is reset along with all the other cooldowns anyway.
Okay, that's cool. I just wasn't sure about the oath bow because it's
A little bit different.
Yeah.
weird.
Okay, Laurie, you've got the first strike as these creatures stumble from this like horrendous blockade that has been created of dancing jackal creatures and this just sphere of darkness that seems to decimate everything inside of it.
Okay, I'm gonna stay overhead and I'm just gonna oath bow.
Alright.
So that's a 24.
That hits.
So that's 9 damage. And then second attack.
That hits.
13.
Alright, and which one are you hitting? Just ping them?
I'm gonna hit. Are we coming from like over the top of them, or did we come to settle back down with the group?
You're above them.
Okay. So I'll kind of hit this back dude here. For the
Yeah,
first
so
hit.
he is
And then the dude
considered
next to
fully
him.
blinded. That first one is a crit. So that's going to do 15 points of damage instead.
Okay.
And then the second one deals 13. And the first arrow, you find exactly a weakness within their heavy plate armor. It sinks directly into his neck. And then you can see him grab his neck, at it and pull it out of his neck. And the second guy's looking at him, and the arrow just finds the same weak point, and he goes to reach for it, but he just starts coughing, like blood coming out of his mouth, and he's trying to grasp to pull the arrow out, and he just sort of goes down to one knee, and then he starts coughing blood again, and then falls, as the amount of damage that has been done to these guys prior to even getting here is starting to really add up, and he was just in the sphere for the longest. Alright. Anything else in your turn? Sorry, bonus
that's
actions?
it.
Any?
No, that was my bonus action, so I'm just gonna stay here.
Alright,
Oh, no,
alright.
that's not a bonus action, is it? It's just a extra attack. But yeah, no, still, I'm gonna stay here. That's it.
Alright, the orcs are just gonna rush forward. Cass, you're technically in the air, so I'm gonna put your token like up over here. And assume you can see just down from where you are. Put a Cass like X right here. Yeah, these orcs are going to stumble forward, not the dead one. He's dead. And they're going to flood in an attempt to just start bashing people. And these things are actually enormous. You can see now as they run, some of them are carrying like wicked curved swords. Some of them are carrying halberds. Some of them have long spears. A host of them have javelin on their back. And they're just gonna make swings. They're just going crazy here. So against Tiki, that's gonna be an 8. Against Kalissa, also an 8. Against Tiki, that's going to be a 19.
That hits.
And you get...
Did I have time to go into a rage, or is that still seeing them come?
Yeah, I'd say you could have raged before they got here, because everyone was preparing for the fight. I would assume that you would have been raged before they got here. So that's going to be a 13 points of damage, halved down to 6. That's going to be a 14.
Surely seen how...
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, surely seen how the injured Kesavir would have made you angry.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Put the director in their rage.
Yes, that is a very good point to make.
An 18 against Morgan.
Nope.
Then there is a 22 against Morgan.
Just.
And that's going to be one of the bigger weapons. That's going to be 18 points of damage, piercing.
Okay.
Or no, slashing, sorry, if that makes it... I don't know if that makes a difference.
Doesn't really, but...
And then there's going to be an 18 against your AC.
Nope.
So these orcs come rushing forward, and they begin slashing wildly and blindly. The they don't look as organized as they initially did, as the first round of just decimation, the 2 fireballs, the shots, the spirit guardians, all have taken their toll on them. And also hit that spirit guardians again for damage, as literally 1 saves. What's your DC? 16? Okay, yeah, literally 1 saves. And he saves by having an 18 brought down to a 16. So as you continue the fight, and they have started their round, the jackals move behind them, and some of them you can see the slice cut through, like right and bisect them. You can see some hook through their chest and stuff. The majority of these things are getting battered really badly by your spirit guardians. But we'll move on to Kesavir as they are done with their turn.
Let's see. Kes is gonna just blast one of them in the back with a chromatic orb. Fire, obviously, because an arsonist.
Yep, makes sense.
I mean, a pyromaniac. I'm going to take out this one to the side of Morgan.
This one here?
Yeah, that's the one. So I couldn't remember how to ping. I need you. There we go, that one out.
That hits.
Ooh.
Alright, 10 fire as this orb begins to form in your hand, colorless at first, and you can see multiple different little sparks in there, and the fire one begins to expand, and it becomes a flaming orb in your hand as you throw it forward, and it burns into the back of the guy. You see him almost drop his weapon. His hand falls to his side, but then he grips hold of it as it falls, turns to look at you, and brings his weapon back up, but he's distracted from Morgan for now.
And I'm gonna inspire in fact, I'll inspire Morgan. While I'm at it.
Yes.
Fuck, I don't even know. Sure, shard.
What's your inspiration? 1d6?
Yeah.
1d6 inspiration, Morgan.
Yeah.
As Kesavir has taken the attention of this creature from you, and
you can consider me your guardian angel.
Oh, sick.
We move on to Bernard.
Bernard is going to flank one orc with Morgan
Mm-hmm.
and do the bitey bite.
Get it. That
He
is
doesn't
a
do bite.
miss. He goes to bite down on the creature, and the very first instinct is to shy away as the taste of this ooze is fucking horrendous.
So this just suddenly realizes there's some things that even dogs won't eat.
So we move on to Morgan.
So I'll turn around and try and slap with the orc
Yeah.
Right. beside me, the one with Bernard. I'll gang up on him.
Yep.
And where's my attack?
That hits.
All right.
Because Bernard is flanking
yeah.
with you.
Okay.
11 points of damage. This orc had turned to face Kesavir as Kesavir blasted him in the back with a flaming orb from the chromatic orb, and then Bernard attempted to bite, and the creature looks down to see Bernard, and as he's raising his head, he's just lifting his head directly into the path of your Warhammer as you crack him right on the back of the head. So hard you hear the crack as his neck is thrown forward and his chin hits his chest, and he just tumbles forward. Bernard just gets out of the way as this big 8-foot creature slams into the ground as you've bashed his head clean in.
Alright. Then I will step in here. Just like bang my Warhammer off my shield and just shout, "Come on then," and I'll cast Sanctuary on myself.
Alright. Make an intimidation check as well.
God bless. And I'll put my inspiration on that, actually. It's a 12.
Honestly, you only needed it. Of the 4 there that were listening, 1 succeeded, and that inspiration made that one fail, and the other 2 had already failed horrendously. So that inspiration actually worked really, really well.
Yes!
Slay!
As these creatures turn their attention to Morgan, 3 of them, but the one here is just transfixed on just fighting the biggest person here, who coincidentally can fight them back this turn.
Go, Tiki, go!
Head up.
Hello?
Oh, I was muted, sorry. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I'm going to strike that guy.
Mm-hmm. That hits.
With the breath as well.
Yep.
And then
That also hits.
Fury.
Let's see if this
Jesus
save. He does. Is it a half? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Then that's going to be 19, 25, 39, 43, 47 points of damage. Yeah, this arc is rocked, thrown backwards as you begin to slash into it with this great axe, and strangely you see that the breath is actually acting against the rot, and it seems to be that everywhere that you cut, and if you cut across an area where there's rot, the little tinge of green from the breath just finds a place to settle and begins to sizzle into his skin, and it seems to be very, very effective as your storm of lightning. As you reach forward and you lightning arcs from you, it does hit him, but it also hits a patch where there's ooze remaining, and you see the lightning fizzle into it a little bit before it arcs and catches his chest, and you see him take a brief little breath of shock as well, but he's still standing.
Fair enough.
Kalissa,
Mm-hmm.
there's an arc right on you there.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Not too bothered. So, I am gonna cast Whirlwind sort of across
Yeah.
the 3 people stacked in front there.
And the whirlwind again is
Choose a point you can see within 60 feet of you. Winds howl in a 20-foot sphere, 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point. Each creature in the sphere must succeed on a strength saving throw or take 1d6. And
Yeah.
be moved to an unoccupied space of your choice in the sphere.
that's what you got taught by.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but okay, then that's gonna be strength saves. Okay, so this guy gets thrown here. This guy gets thrown here. This guy gets thrown here. This one does not move. And they all take damage. So your whirlwind howls. Does Tiki and Margaret have to make saves?
That was a good question, actually. I mean, I would cast it in a way so it doesn't hit them.
Then you would.
If you circle around.
The guy on the left just wouldn't be hit though,
Yeah,
but the front three would.
Yeah, so this guy would still be here.
Yeah.
But you could get these three.
Mhm.
Then there you go. Then yeah, the guy's still on you, but these three were definitely these two were thrown away. Like they got picked up off the ground. These like 8.5 foot tall orcs just got thrown like they were children.
Does it knock down or just move back?
Just move back.
Yeah, they
Okay.
just get thrown back.
They broke them up.
That's our Kalissa.
Mhm.
Is there anything else
Can
you
I
want
as
to
a
do?
can I as a bonus action just yell at the orc in front of me, and just be like, "Do you know who I am? I am Kalissa Orcbane!"
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
Yes!
Slay!
Let's go.
Slay!
Holy shit. Let me make a wisdom save. Oh my god, no.
I can't believe this has worked again.
He, for a second, you just catch dead, like eye to eye. And for a second, you think he's listening to you. What do you want to say to him? What do you want to command him to do?
For him to tell all his friends to fuck off before they all die a horrible death.
Are you,
Uh,
just out of
And it
curiosity, are
is
you
going to
still
be a
wearing
horrible death.
Are you still wearing a chain of wart tusks?
Hell yeah.
Doesn't she have a crown, or did we not make that yet?
Don't think we did.
You might have made it back then, but it was never a permanent fixture. just as
Maybe it should be.
the bone pile of the orcs, the fucking throne was not a permanent fixture. It got left behind.
Sadly. I've also
Uh,
got the brooch though.
does anyone here speak Orcish?
Let's see.
I know a lot of people speak a lot of languages, so
I do not.
No.
Comprehend
Kalissa has
language.
a awakened mind, so the orc definitely understood her.
That is also true. I can
yeah,
use
yeah.
that.
Well, no,
I do
I'm-
have comprehend languages. Does that allow you to speak them? Or
I
Hold
think
on,
it allows you to understand them, I think, but you would have to cast it. And at
Yeah.
this point, they're already talking, so this orc turns around in a very authoritative tone. The language is very sharp and guttural with a lot of heavy, like, S sounds in it as well. And the words come to, like, a very sharp end. And he's clearly telling them to do something and pointing back towards the ooze. But the other orcs... One of the orcs agrees and uses his reaction and is going to immediately bolt away. And then this one is going to also attempt to use a reaction to run away. But Kalissa and Tiki both get an attack of opportunity.
That should be good. I have to actually find an actual weapon first. There. Yeah.
So I'd say that you both hit with advantage there due to the way that he's disengaging, or rather not disengaging. He's like haphazardly thrown his weapon down, begins to turn, makes all of his weak spots very visible. You've also hit with the dagger, but you've crit with the dragon great axe.
Is a breath weapon on that as well?
Yes, it is. And roll the breath weapon again.
Oh yeah.
15, 18, 27, 37, 41. Yeah, this guy was scared to death and began to run. Unfortunately, exposing the dagger from Kalissa was just a dagger in the back. But the axe from Tiki just carved straight down, taking off the right shoulder and the right leg at the hip and a large portion of the side. And he just is running, loses that arm, loses that leg, and just careens forward and lands on the ground.
Tight.
And we jump to Laura's turn.
So I'm just seeing Kalissa do her thing and then scream at the orcs, then one of them try and run away, and then get murdered by my bestie with her axe. Okay.
Well, I didn't hear what she was screaming. I don't know what she was doing.
No, I know, it's fair, it's fair. Okay, I'm gonna bonus action, I'm gonna do Divine Favor, which gives me plus 1d4 radiant damage on my weapon.
Okay.
It's a spell that I have prepared, but I only just read up what it actually does.
Okay.
I know that feel.
So let's do this, and I'm gonna Oathbow. Is this guy still up? The one next to the guy I killed?
Yes, he's currently running away.
All right. I'm gonna kill him first. No, I'm not. Do I get extra attack if my first attack doesn't hit?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try and shoot him again.
Shoot.
Sorry, come on.
Can I use cut and worse? No, I can't. Doesn't work.
Other way around, yeah, other way around.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe I could lower his defense, but no.
Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's let go.
The 14 will hit, considering he's dropped his weapons, and as he's running, thrown off his helm, he's just trying to get the hell out of here. The second hit, his armor class is reduced a little bit, as 15 damage.
Yeah, and the 2's radiant if it makes a difference.
It certainly does, because it's now 4. And he stumbles and falls with an arrow just pinned into his back.
Yay!
Is that your turn?
Yes, that is.
Alright, these orcs, seeing all of the people trying to flee, the people falling in combat, their eyes go red, and they begin to grow in size in terms of their height, width, muscle. Their weapons grow with them a little bit, not huge, but enough that it's very noticeable. And just these horrendous shrieks begin to emerge from them as they begin to, one moves in here to attack. Tiki, does a 26 hit you?
You know damn well it does.
Well, that's a good thing that the damage doesn't do. Oh, never mind. That's going to be a 25 points of damage reduced to 12.
I take it that wasn't one of the ones I taunted, no?
Nope, he was the one who remained this whole time, just focused on Tiki. And then a 20 against your AC. So...
Yep.
10 points reduced to 5. And then Morgan, 25 against you.
Sanctuary's still up, so Wisdom saves first.
Yeah, that's true. So, Wisdom save.
There's the text, just in case you need it.
DC what?
I think my DC 16.
16?
16.
Yeah, that is completely... He does not make that. Has to choose a new target. So Tiki at 25 against you.
Oh shit.
And that's going to be 17 points of damage reduced to 8.
Ow.
Then he's going to attempt a wisdom. He loses his wisdom save again with Sanctuary and attacks Tiki for 21 AC.
Mm-hmm.
Owen, you're a dead boy.
4, 9
you're
points
12.
half to 4.
Uh-huh.
And finally, the last guy is going to make attacks. He will also fail his attack or his sanctuary save, and will move to. Unfortunately, he only has. Well, he's got 2 targets he can take here, so let's roll a d6. Odds, it's going to be Bernard. Even, it's going to be Tiki. 5. So Bernard gets the brunt of this.
He has to move away from me, does he? Yeah.
No. He's got a long a halberd.
No, not that dog.
17 points of damage on Bernard. And then he's gonna try and
You
attack
monster.
again. He fails his wisdom save. This attack passes to 4. Tiki. Tiki. An 11 against your AC. Never mind.
Nope. For once.
Yeah, these orcs now in a frenzy, a blood frenzy, having been so badly decimated, so badly hurt, have just started unleashing all sorts of hell against you guys. But thankfully, it's been Tiki who's taken the brunt of it this time, because Tiki is capable of taking the brunt.
Sorry, just out of interest, do you
Yeah.
need me to re-roll the Spirit Guardians?
Yes, I do. At the start of their turn, I need Spirit Guardians back.
Sorry, I didn't even think. It just that we might kill some of them, so I'm not sure.
Okay, that's well. One can save this, but the other one can't. Because I don't think this guy's in Spirit Guardians anymore. Because it was like here, right?
Yeah, that's right. Put it down. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they both take the. One takes 22 points of radiant. The other takes 11, because
Right.
he saved, but he was also vulnerable. So
Yeah.
but it does not down them. This guy here, Tiki, took the brunt of that damage. The jackal cut right through his neck, but he is the one who has been like in your face this whole time. The one who talked back to the guy angrily, who was trying to tell people. Calista told them to tell their friends to leave, and he has been unable to be swayed from your attention. He is the most battle ready of all these orcs. He is still standing after taking that enormous blow.
There's more where that came from.
Alright, Bernard.
Bernard is going to move. Oop.
Isn't
That's
it my
fine.
shot?
It is Cass's
Yeah.
turn. I literally just clicked past you because I clicked on D already. Cass, you're up.
Yeah, Kesvir's going to cast Scorching Rays at this guy.
All 3 beams on him.
In fact, I'll may as well split them. In fact, no, fuck it, 'cause I'm going to quick and spell it anyway. So 3 on this guy, and then another 3 on this guy here. The one behind him.
Alright, go. Are you ignited with your flame wreath?
I'm not. I'm holding on to that.
Alright, perfect.
First one. Where's the left there? It's Scorching Ray. 2, 3.
Alright.
First one misses horrifically, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So probably does the
The
third one.
Yeah, one hit. 12 fire. Alright, he absolutely, yeah, the Scorching Ray, the first one blasts completely wide, and you see the Scorching Ray get consumed by this ooze. The second one hits him, and the third one, just because the first one hit him and began to knock him backwards, hits the ground and where he was and burns out. But the Scorching Ray that you hit the second one was enough to knock him to the floor, as he now lays there like the ooze dripping off him onto the ground. Because you're relatively out of the ooze here, it's just little patches here and there. And you're going to quicken spell and hit the guy behind.
Yep.
Attack again. 3 more attacks. That's a hit. That's a hit. That's a hit. Okay, so that's going to be 31 points of damage. Let me just roll. All 3 blasts pinpoint into this guy's chest. There's so little variance in the hit, it looks like one beam. But this guy, where you pierced in through his chest and quite clearly burned away the tissue and like hit his heart, he is still standing and roaring, though he looks devoid of life almost. But it looks like you should have killed him, but he will not die.
Christ. That's what turn.
Alright, Bernard.
Bernard is going to jump over the corpse of that one orc.
Aye.
And bite.
Arr.
Well, that's 10. Still nothing. I'm just...
Yeah, that's a miss. Unfortunately. Yeah, it's not a nice thing to bite these. Morgan, you're up.
Alright, I'll help Bernard and Warhammer this one on the back of the heat.
That's a hit. Yeah, so it's like they're lining up for you to knock him down. Bernard goes for the bite. You smash him with a warhammer. It's almost like a practiced move at this point. And exactly where you expect his head to be, you clash into it, but he doesn't go down. The neck doesn't quite. You didn't feel the neck snap like you did the first guy, and he hunches over almost in half, and then pulls himself back up to his full height, and as he towers over the top of you.
Okay, I think it's a bonus action here. No, that's it then. I'm good. That's me.
Alright. Tiki?
I'm going to smash the same orc.
Yeah, get him.
I'm not smashing the same orc.
You can smash him if you recklessly attacked.
I keep forgetting I have that too.
Do you want to recklessly him this turn then? Okay, so roll damage for the first one, because that hits for the 19. It's a lot of red.
It is.
Yeah, let me just roll. Nope.
It begets the blood.
The first axe cuts just dead into his chest, and you can see his organs. And he just roars this horrendous like breath into your face. He's like too close to you for your liking. The kill shot doesn't kill. Roll your damage for your second attack. And with the second attack, you're able to actually hit internal organs with this attack. It's not like you're cutting through flesh anymore. There was so much rot on his chest. The armor was rotted. You were able to see organs.
Although the first attack still had the breath weapon as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Roll the breath weapon. It's not really. He was at 1 HP.
Yeah,
but he
because then I
couldn't
can use
die.
my second attack to circle around and the one that's still alive.
No, the first attack didn't kill him.
Like zombies.
I know, but with the breath.
The breath doesn't change it. It was essentially 1 HP, and any damage he took, he had to roll a con save higher than that, and he natural 20'd his con save, and so his second attack, you rolled a 13 and he nat 1'd it. He was on his this was his lifeline, he was at 0 essentially, but
Fair
as
enough.
long as he keeps saving, he's gonna stay up. But he failed to save as you just mutilate his chest.
But then I can Storm of Fury the guy.
Yeah,
on
you
the other side of Morgan.
can move and Storm of Fury him.
Because that's 10-foot radius.
Yep.
Within a 10-foot radius.
He fails as the lightning blasts into the side of his head that had just been minced by the is it an axe you're using again or a warhammer? The warhammer.
I use Warhammer, yeah.
So yeah, you see the lightning damage just sizzle, like it almost looks like it almost stuns him for a second. But he's like on wobbly feet. It looks like he's about to fall over. Kalissa?
I'm just gonna go with the Old Faithful here.
That hits. That hits.
Let him know, girl.
Yeah, it's both now. He's been like, he got distracted by Bernard, and then hit with a huge bludgeoning smash by the Warhammer, which was immediately followed up by something frying his brain, and then before he could recover from that, the two Eldritch blasts, this sickly like green energy, just blasts forth and hits him, and both of them. You see the first one rock his head to the right, and he like tries to compensate, and then it hits him again, and you hear just a tiny, like barely faintly sound. Margon, you can only hear because of your passive perception. You just hear a snap, and he just crumples to the ground. He doesn't fall, like get blasted over. His legs give out from beneath him, and he folds as he falls. As yeah, these orcs, you've downed the last of the orcs that came in here.
Obviously.
All right. How bad are you looking, Tiki?
Half. No, not
Alright.
even that. I'm fine.
Okay, fair enough. Just if you need healing, let me know.
I'm on 70 out of 105.
Oh, okay, you're sweet.
Barely breaking a sweat.
Yeah, I'm glad they hit you then and not me. I'm okay with that. I'm sorry.
What? I didn't even notice.
Same.
Can I fly up and out towards the gorge just to see if there are any more coming?
Yeah, give me a perception check with advantage now that you know exactly what you're looking for.
Oh, the writing gets so tiny on my new screen.
Yeah, you see so many more of these, like the evidence of orcs, but none are making their way this way. They're moving one way from this side to this side, and then following up the gorge when it turns, and there are a lot of them.
I'll fly back and I want to ask Carlin, what is in that direction? Where are they going?
To the north, just the mountains, I suppose. They could, if they had a portal key, they could make their way to any of the halls, Valhalla. They could make their way to Jotunheim, Helheim. They could almost find themselves near Argentil, but you would have to either swim or fly to get there. I don't think the orcs are going there.
I'll be back down there as well by this point.
Yeah.
So,
Should we find out where they're going and warn someone?
Perhaps.
Because that's an army.
Was there really that many?
it's quite a few, yes.
Make a general intelligence check, the pair of yous.
I mean, in Laura's head right now, she's thinking, okay, just orcs, but if they can be born of that sludge.
Yeah, so Laurie, you're trying to like you've got a load of things racing through your head right now. But Cass, you were able to like take a second as you were approaching Laurie to like guess at like how many things you've seen moving, and at your recollection you're looking at hundreds.
And there seem to be hundreds. And let's face it, it's not like they're orcs don't tend to just sprout from the ground. So they got here somehow.
And I understand your concerns with home, but what about all the other places?
Well, everywhere is defended. Oh, well, not everywhere is defended equally. There's no place defended quite like the halls of Valhalla, but
Actually, wait, you said they were they looked as though they were born out of this, right?
yeah.
Well, if they're growing from this ooze, and this ooze is spreading, you either must contain it, remove it, or else this is a problem that's just going to get bigger. And everybody in this realm is that they're endangered by this.
This is not something that I can do on my own. If we leave it and get somewhere, we could get word out the old-fashioned way. But even then, if there are hundreds now, how many hundreds are already moving towards their destination? And if we wait, how many hundreds more will be born?
Laurie is gonna fall to her knees and say a prayer because she's really hoping the gods are listening right now. Tom, please warn someone. This isn't good. And she's gonna peep an eye at Morgan and be like, Morgan, message your god.
The gods can't really do anything right now with Gorm around.
Can I
Spread the word.
wander off to an isolated patch and just study it?
Can I stick my hand in it?
Andy, you should have an empty bottle, by the way, from an used potion.
Oh yeah, good shout.
Gorm.
Yeah, so you're giving the ooze an inspection.
Yeah, but badly.
That's ooze.
Yeah, it's definitely unnatural. There's nothing
Gross.
that you can really.
Wait.
Mhm.
I have an alchemy kit.
Then I'll say you've got advantage to check this then. This is not something naturally formed. It's not a compound or component that you've ever seen. Everything within your alchemy kit to test it gets absorbed or destroyed.
Is it possible to bottle it?
You could attempt to, definitely.
I'll definitely attempt to.
You scoop into the ooze and just try and scoop up a little bit into it, and as you pull the glass out, you see that half the glass is dissolved away. The half that was in the ooze.
Yeah, I'll leave it alone.
I want to get a good look at these orcs if that's possible, just to kind of. Were these like undead, or because obviously I seen that radiant damage was like really it was quite potent against them. So
yeah, make a religion check, I suppose.
Nice what?
Well, I don't even know if it would be religion. I'm not sure what the check for that is.
Medicine?
Nature or religion?
Intelligence, I suppose, as well.
Nature, religion, medicine, whichever seems like the one you want to use.
Fuck it, we're in heaven. Oh man, that rolled over from a 19.
So yeah, they're not undead.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the qualities of undead that you are so familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see why they took the damage as well. They have certain like little properties that you could maybe link to undead. but it's more their unnatural like creation. You think is the cause of the damage from
Right. Okay.
the radiant.
Uh,
Make a perception check, Cass and Tiki. Yeah, Tiki and Cass. Cass, you were just looking. You seen this acid? You seen this ooze like dissolve it like acid, the glassic acid. Even though you know that some acids like just don't even dissolve the glass. It's specifically like something you can take from your alchemy kit to try. But as you like look around now, you realize that Tiki's got some on her face. From one of the arcs being so close, and Tiki, you notice this as well. You just got some on your face, like. It's,
can I use Mage Hand to try and get it off her?
Yeah, sure.
Does it burn, Tiki?
Does it?
No, you didn't notice it until just now. It's like
I thought it was dirt.
Yeah, it feels like just like you've got mud in your face.
A big disgrace.
Yeah, I can't
Thank you.
remember the place.
I got you.
Am I able to get it off?
Yeah, you just like it's the equivalent of like you do the best you can, like.
But
You have a feeling
did
that
she look damaged?
no, not really. No, no more. She's damaged from all the wounds that she sustained in battle, but not from actually touching it. No.
Strange.
Green dragonborns are resistant to poison. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Can I put my hand in it? I want to touch it.
Yeah, you sure can.
Does it hurt me in any way?
No, it feels really weird. Like it feels like it's almost alive, but it's not quite. And as you touch it, it's like. Do you remember when you were younger? You got the fucking alien baby things.
Yeah, Millennium Babies. Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, it's like those. It's like disgusting. And you put it in your hand, take it out. Your hands are fine. You got a little bit still covering. You just wipe it off. Fine.
Okay. Can I offer it out to Cass?
Yeah. So Cassie just watches. Morgan just picks up the ooze and just like offers some to you.
No thanks. There's plenty around. I'll get some if I decide.
Can I drop some of this one on the glass, or like ask for like the jar, so like the one off of the piece off her face? Will that burn the glass as well? Just want to test that.
Yeah, Cassie, you still have the half glass thing.
Yeah, I'll Mage Hand it over.
Yeah, you put it onto it and it begins to dissolve it.
Can I do a Ghostbusters too? And use Vicious Mockery on it?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
You filthy, disgusting slime.
Get in the damn jar.
Yeah, you scream obscenities at the ooze, but as an inanimate object, it doesn't respond. Yeah, there's no life to it.
Where the ooze was in my hand, do I still have sensation on like the fingers?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna take off and fly a bit and just watch the ooze cutting through the countryside.
All right.
So like theoretically, we could cross this ooze. Is Bernard like struggling? Because obviously he's probably standing on it. Like he paws.
No, he's fine.
He's good too.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Can I
It's
touch?
extremely good.
Can I touch it with my axe?
Well, you've been using your warhammer to bash someone who was covered in it already.
And there's no like damage on my hammer.
Nope, your hammer is not like pockmarked in any way, like you would expect if it was an acid. Not burned. It's not blunt. Well, it's blunt, but like it's not fucking smoothed over.
It's not your blood.
So yeah, no, your weapon is fine.
Okay.
That doesn't even makes. Sorry, can Casimir figure this out? Like why it would be that stuff that would dissolve would put it in isn't.
You can, give me a general intelligence check. The general idea is that things that are not in some way part of your like gear or whatever, like things that are not worn, things that are free seem to be getting consumed. But you note that the orcs didn't have the thing is that the orcs didn't seem to have any damage to their armor other than the natural sort of damage. They were not in any way losing their armor either. And you think that it might be another instance where this comes from a creature that was created to destroy things from this realm, and there's just a few hangovers that are like a few things that are tied over to the to this realm, and there's a few things that still are affected. But as you guys are part of the prime material, you seem to be okay. You notice that as you touch it, Corlin is like recoiling.
Yeah.
He has not come near it. He did not engage in the fight. He is wary of this ooze.
This this may be a silly question, but can you fly?
Yes, I can if I want to cast spells.
Which you don't want to do.
I've been thinking just more and more now that I may have to cast the spell anyway to inform everyone of the ooze and the orcs.
How far are we from a settlement where we could do that? From relative safety.
From here, we would have to trek back the entire forest, move to the west near the Path of the Ancients and find the village there. Otherwise, we have to push forward, past the mountain peak, through a portal key, until we arrive at one of the other moats of land and find a settlement there.
Now, I always thought that the realms of gods would be, being ancient, that be a tad more infrastructure. Don't you people have coaches?
We don't need coaches, really. Not for the gods, not for us. We can, when we're free to do as we please, we can do as we please. For the other people who live here and are born of here, it's just how they prefer to live. Should you visit another plane, I know that there are planes which thrive on that sort of settlement. But perhaps you'll be shocked when you see how down to earth this plane is. This is essentially the prime material, except people here are immortal.
Well, what do you suggest? Do you think we should?
I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I think I should warn everyone from here, and then go on the run.
Well, you said yourself though that Argentine, Teal, sorry, is capable of. It's got defenses. Is there any way that you could teleport there, or teleport all of us there, and then allow people to know? That way, we're safe and we can protect Argentine.
I can't teleport. No. If I was to teleport, we've already seen this creature grasp during the spell, pull during the spell, pull people out of their teleport. Things like Dimension Door have failed against the creature. Anything that revolves around travel near them. I could tell if I knew where the creature was, I could teleport us somewhere that wasn't directly in his path. But otherwise, I'm taking a guess and hoping that this creature is not between myself and Argentine. I can take the guess, but if I'm wrong, then we will get pulled out of our teleport. We will be strewn around. You'll have to fight the creature then and there. I will likely be pulled and lose my power.
Well, is if you were to message people beforehand, is there any way that they could maybe respond to let you know where the creature is?
It's possible, but if the creature's stalking instead of hunting, it's impossible to tell where it is. Right now, my best bet is to get people involved with the preservation of this forest before it spreads to the path of the ancients. And if the ooze runs into the river there, it'll find its way through Jotunheim, which really is the base of all this land.
Is there any way that we could maybe use some of the trees and dam off parts of this the ooze? Like, obviously, I know there's orcs in there, but like, is there any way we could kind of like slow their progress in the meantime? I know it would be temporary because obviously they'd wash over it and like just take it away.
Make an intelligence check. You figure if you were to drop trees in there, they would be just dissolved. Like it would not even hold them off for any amount of time.
Right. So what are we going to do? Do we want to press onwards or double back and stop the spread?
We won't be able to stop the spread on our own. This will take the work of hundreds of people. This gorge is wide. This gorge is... the scar is long. If you wish to stay here and attempt to stop the spread of this horrid liquid, then feel free, but I will need to find other adventurers to come here and do the job that you need to then. Because you will be
like
here forever.
I meant double back there towards Path of Ancients to let other people know about it, and then I kind of go from there. Not specifically us, but yeah.
There's not enough people in the village to do this as well. This requires a grand force from the heavens here. This requires the Valkyr. It requires the armies of Argentine. It requires the armies of Brightwater. It requires the giants from Jotunheim. Enough to fight back whatever force attempts to fight out and also destroy this area.
And there's only one option then? We go forward?
Well, if you go forward, I'm afraid you have to go forward without me. Because once I cast the spell, I have to go on the run. And I have to hide.
I don't suppose you have a true introduction for us. Are we expected?
You're expected in Argentine, you're expected in Brightwater, you're expected in Valhalla. In Jotunheim, there's no communication with them anyway. They do as they please. If you find your way to Helheim, I imagine Hela knows that you're here. Odin and his sphere of Aesir, they still freely use magic. So information is spread, information is passed among them. So you'll be expected, but I will give you a portal key that will allow you to use a portal at the northernmost tip of this moat, and it will allow you to transfer to one of the other moats that hovers around here.
Okay, so Godspeed.
I have every faith in you.
He gives a small chuckle. He passes a literal actual key, except it's big enough that like you can wrap your hand around like the top part, you know, like in an old house key. There's literally the little oval at the top, and then the key. Your hand is big enough to like hold that. You could almost wield it like a weapon. But as you grab hold of it, it shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And who's taking it? Sorry.
Cass?
Yeah, I guess me.
The key shrinks and shrinks in your hand until it's just disappears into your hand.
That's mildly disconcerting.
You just reach your hand into the portal, and it will activate.
Thanks.
Now, I hope you don't mind that I take something of yours for just a brief amount of time. If I'm going to be running and hiding, I know where I'm going. I hope you don't mind if I stay in Lithbarad for a while.
Well, I mean, you might as well make yourself useful while you're there. We're a big hole in the floor. Needs fixing.
I'll see what I can do, Casimir.
Thanks.
He claps his hands together and holds them together, and divine light begins to emit from around him. Morgan and Laurie, you have never in your life experienced divine power like this. This is casting beyond levels that you can imagine. All of your minds are very quickly filled with a message to alert you that there is a spreading ooze within the great forest that has hundreds and hundreds of orcs being created there. If the trees are not cut down and the area is not stopped from the rot being spread, then the realm will be under the assault of hundreds of orcs, and then whatever else could possibly spawn here. The images of the orcs, and then the images of also this horrendous creature crawling from the ooze that is obviously a memory. You see like chains wrapped all around him, and he's dragging chains behind him, and he's got spikes all over him. And it's like 8 feet tall, and it's got dark red eyes underneath like all these chains that wrap its face that you can barely even see its face. Just trudging along here, and it ends with, "This is Corlin, Litharian, and this is my final message before I leave the realm. Your images flash in your head's like an image of like your party. These people travel with my blessing and with the blessing of Odin. Do not hinder them. And as the casting stops, he also reaches out and puts a hand on everyone who's wounded and restores all of your HP.
Yes.
And the kind of mental image of the party, are we all doing the fucking Ginyu Force pose?
Canon. That's canon.
Fuck's sake.
Sigh.
Ken,
Try not
what
to
are
just-
you doing?
Slavic squats.
What?
God damn all of you.
Do we get spell slots back or just the health?
Just your health.
Worth a try.
The last thing he does is he pulls forth a set of scrolls and begins to cast into them, and you see that it's taken him quite some time, and he tells you to be wary to defend him. But as he takes him the hour to cast into all of these 6 spells and spell scrolls, nothing comes to attack. You don't hear anything other than the continual like bubbling and the occasional sound coming from the ooze that was normal. And once he's done, he passes all 6 of the scrolls to Margaret and says, when you need sanctuary that isn't your sanctuary, and he's very obviously talking about spells. When you all need sanctuary for the night, if the forces of evil are overwhelming you, use one of these. Use them sparingly. And everyone be safe. It's time for me to take my leave. I have to run. Legitimately.
Well, take care.
Good luck.
Aye.
And you see this swirl from underneath him. His last little smile, he says, I'm pretty sure the creature's not back where we came. And as the golden swirl consumes him, this bright light emits, you have to shield your eyes. And he's gone. And I'll take a perception checks from people with who are proficient in perception.
Desmond.
Believe it or not, actually, I'm proficient in perception.
Yeah, that's sad.
I know. I had to take it because my perception was so bad.
So Margaret and Laurie and Kess, as you look back through the thinner forest here, way deep to the south, you see a column of light similar to the one you just seen erupt into the air and then immediately disappear, and you would guess that's at the Path of the Ancients. And in your hand, Margaret, you've got 6 spell scrolls, but you're unsure of what they are. You'll have to spend some time identifying them or have an identify spell used on them.
Identify!
It's about mid-afternoon now, right?
It's past mid-afternoon. It was mid-afternoon, or it was midday-ish when you began to move. It took you a couple of hours. You're looking more about 5, 6-ish.
This is not a good place to camp.
Probably
No, it's
not.
not.
I will just link you really quick here. These are spell scrolls of Temple of the Gods.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I know what that does.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, actually. Yeah, okay. I'm good with that.
So you have the ability to 6 times create your a temple from essentially nothing. Something, and you know that these will cause your your enemies to be held at the door. No one can pass.
Mhm.
So,
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking badass. Temple of God's a baller of a spell.
in the moments immediately following the disappearance of Carlin, a feeling of emptiness washes over you guys. Like there was a divine, it's almost like a background, like radiance that was there at all times that you only notice now that it's gone. Everything is sort of less warm. The conditions here are not quite as nice as you thought they were. There's a wind that's howling a little bit that was being held at bay by like this natural warmth and presence that sort of had its own microcosm like by him. And now you're standing. The wind is howling through the dead trees. The ooze in front of you is bubbling, and you can see in the distance, in the middle of the ooze, there are more and more bodies that are on the move. There genuinely is hundreds as you watch. You can count like roughly how many there is, and after a minute or so, there's a very loud stomp and a loud bang as you're watching out and you look down towards the east. There is a rotted, disintegrating giant now stomping along the center of this, along with the orcs. And
Yeah,
another
no
sound
interest.
behind them. There's ogres.
Yeah, I've got no interest in this shit.
We need to move
Yeah.
now.
Just out of curiosity, how long does my fly last?
I think it's
10 minutes?
and I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
Can you link 5 of them?
Yeah, I've
If
got.
it's the same as the spell, I'm pretty sure it's 10 minutes. Hold on.
Yeah, I've got it. It's up to 10 minutes concentration.
Fair enough. In that case, I'll cast levitation. Grab the doggo, and I'll scoot across the goop, picking a path that will not lead me near those fucking assholes.
Are we going alongside the gorge, or are we going to try and cross the gorge? Because that doesn't seem like a good idea now. Because we could have probably crossed it before.
Yeah, but
Now
now there's
there's
like ogres
ogres
and
and
giants.
giants down there.
Yeah, alright then. If skirting it is an option, let's do that.
So we
You
could
know,
run parallel, right?
you could run parallel, but you would almost definitely still have to cross it at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
And
cross it then.
At a certain point, you might end up with there being more giants than there is orcs, even if the spawn continues.
Yeah, so it looks like they're spawning to the south and moving to the north, and we would have to go to
No,
the south.
they're,
in order
they're
to cross,
spawning.
or-
They're spawning in the east and moving towards the west, where
Towards the mountains.
yeah,
Right. Okay, I get you. Yeah.
spawning
And we're
the
going to
east,
the mountains, right?
moving to the left, and then it curves to the north.
Right.
But the curve to the north is very, very far to your west. So you
Okay.
are. Let me just be the professional DM that I am, and so you are essentially in this square here. The spawn is somewhere down in this area here, and the gorge is like this, and like that, and like this, and like that. That's just that's fucking. If you manage to cut off onto like the small thing, it like sticks, and right now there are giants like here down the hill, or
Right.
down the ways towards your east, because this is the never eat shredded wheat.
Yep.
And the forest is behind you. The river is to your south, where you seen your man go way down there. And ahead of you, like way up here, the mountain range like is on this area here, like of the map. Like obviously zoomed out, not that close,
Yeah.
but zoomed out. This does cut around, like a path around the mountain range,
Okay.
so you would have to cross.
Yes, we have to cross them.
Yeah, let's book it then.
Yeah.
So how are you all getting across?
I'm grabbing the doggo and just zooming across the narrowest, least orc infested part.
Mm-hmm.
I can carry Morgan, I think.
Well, if Callista's able to cast fly, could she cast it on like myself and Tiki maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I was just
'Cause, like-
trying to think if we could save some of Callista's magical energy, aka a spell
Mm.
slot.
Wouldn't be opposed to that, to be fair.
If you're sure you can carry me, I am a heavy dwarf with a lot of armor.
Thing is, we can have a short rest maybe afterwards, and that would give Kalissa her
Oh, that's true, 'cause she's a warlock.
magical
Yeah.
energy back.
Hmm.
Because I would like some hit dice anyway before we move on.
You're full healed,
Oh yeah, right, that's true.
Mhm.
Never mind.
but still, it wouldn't be a
short
bad
rest
idea
is still
anyway.
an option.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure we want to nap next to the gorge on the other side either, so we just need to move up. I
Yeah,
guess.
we'll book it into the mountains a little bit anyway.
Alright,
Yeah,
Well,
if you can.
it's up to Calissa.
Yeah, no, I mean, we need to get there, so.
Right, let's do one. Cass can still fly.
I can
I'm
carry
gonna-
someone as well when I'm. I could probably carry Morgan. Got a strength of 20.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to start flying because my fly speed is less than casted fly.
Okay. I'm gonna climb on Tiki's back. Hi ho, silver away.
Did
So
you just
you-
say hi ho?
what level are you casting? What levels does your fly cast at now? Fourth.
Third, I think.
You have access to fourth level spells, no?
Let me double check that actually. What are we
It's,
level
I mean, warlocks are
seven?
full
Seven.
casters, so if
Yeah.
I know I have access to fourth anyway.
yeah, then
Yeah,
they
then
cast
so
at
that
fourth, so
probably-
you can have Tiki and yourself fly. So yeah, you guys take off into the air, and you can see now that these are hill giants that are walking along here, way to your east, and you begin to make your way across this gorge. You meet no opposition; they don't even look up at you. Casimir, you imagine that it was your music playing that attracted the attention of creatures here.
Yeah, sounds about right.
There's no there's no arrows, javelins. The giants are not like looking at you, they're looking forward, they're marching, that's it. You cross the gorge to the other side and continue far enough that you're past the point where the rot is starting, like, is affecting the leaves of the trees even. And but on this side, on the north, the trees are a lot thinner. The forest is a lot thinner. It's thinning out and you're reaching back towards mountains again. So you're traveling enough now to try and get to safety from the gorge to rest, yeah? Because you're still looking at longer than, like, if you keep traveling from now until you get to the mountain range, it will be nighttime, like dead of night.
I think we keep moving.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it sounds like a good
I
idea. We'll
think
just
stopping is just an excuse for something to catch us.
yeah, and after that debacle up, like I mean, Casavia's in absolutely no hurry to close his eyes for the night.
So yeah, you push forward and push forward. You get to a break in the trees now where you're starting to see mountain ranges, but it is dark out to the point where you need light if you do not have dark vision.
I'll cast light for anybody that doesn't have dark vision.
I've still got my magic torch.
I have dark vision.
I
We
know.
got goggles on the dog.
Yeah, I'll cast light. I'll cast it on an object, right?
Mhm.
And the object glows for an hour.
Yeah, I'll cast light on Tiki's axe.
Thank you. Very nice and shiny.
So you've now got light emanating brightly.
I wave it around like a glow stick.
Yeah,
So
it's like
everybody ducks out of the way.
yeah, you've got a light source now. You can finally see Tiki because it was getting real. It was getting real dangerous there.
Real shady.
So the what time do you intend to continue walk until? Because you are now sitting at like 11 p.m. dark. Like
Until we get there.
I don't know. About now, probably. I guess.
yeah, you're going to be pushing overnight if you think you're going to get there.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm okay with it
Laurie's
as well.
pretty determined, to be honest.
Only thing I'd say, if we're pushing through the night, I put that light out. Because we would be a walking beacon.
Yeah. No, spell
You're
light.
already
for both.
you're already a walking beacon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's dark enough now that light is like so enormously out of place.
Yeah, I know. I wish I
But we
thought
can
of that.
cover it. It's okay. We can cover it.
I can always take the goggles and Bernard and I can carry Bernard.
Bernard can see in the dark, surely.
I don't think you can actually, that's the thing.
That's why we gave
So-
him the goggles.
I mean, he's a wolf, like, surely.
Yeah,
It-
but
it'll be able to,
there's
like,
no-
He'll be able to
Dark.
smell us though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it follows by
yeah.
smell.
Follow his nose. Yeah, I'll douse the light. But you know what I'll do? I'll cast major image of that light after making the light wink out. I'll cast major image of that light marching off in a different direction.
Nice.
I
All
appreciate
right.
that.
So you watch as this this enormous light begins moving off in another direction, and you can see it for the next 10 minutes make its way far to the southwest, and you continue on roughly unimpeded. Are you actually traveling the night?
Yep.
I think
That would be
certainly
my
for a few
fate.
hours. Yeah, for a couple of hours at least, and then we could bed down at some point.
Hmm.
Like,
Laurie's
Uh,
pretty much going to go until she has to stop. That's pretty much where Laurie's at in her head. She's on a mission.
But I
Uh,
need spells back.
No, I understand that like on a meta level, but Laurie isn't there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So pretty much until someone tells Laurie to stop, she's going to keep walking.
Yeah, we know that the cities won't hinder us anyway. Hopefully they'll be able to help, like, aid us as well,
I think-
and like, give us a place that's safe to rest for the night.
I think I'd probably push on for another couple of hours and then start moaning.
My feet hurt.
So at around 3 a.m. then, roughly.
Yeah.
It's light enough out now that you've passed the trees. The moon is bright, and continually it's ever present. But you essentially get to the like in the foothills of the mountains. Before it's so steep, and the wind here is howling. It's so cold at night that you didn't realize without him there. Without Carl in there, that it's like so cold at night. As you're walking, it's like cutting your face. It chill you to the bone. And it's getting to the point where if you keep going anymore, you are looking at exhaustion.
Yeah, like we'll make camp. We'll huddle together. I can use prestidigitation to heat stuff up. Like I can just heat up some rocks and stuff, and like have them for sort of keeping the bedrolls warm.
It's just what we're walking. Is this like the place we stop? I assume would be well defensible. Like I would want to like kind of make a point of that.
You could try and make survival check.
Laurie will help.
Yeah.
Advantage
I think
then.
she's proficient. Hang on, let me check. She's proficient. No, she's not. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Can't help.
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, the foothills here, you can find places that you've covered from some sides, but you're very open from a lot of different sides. And
Okay.
the wind tends to change direction quite a lot here.
Oh, shrimp. Shouldn't have done all that shit.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and no matter pretty much where you're going to be on these foothills, you're going to be exposed to the wind for the night.
We could always like organize. Do we have tents of some sort, or just bedrolls?
Does anyone have a tent?
I may have.
Well, I mean, we literally have those scrolls. Like in Meta, we have those scrolls, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only to be used in like the kind of dire circumstances.
That's not really the feeling you've got. It takes a while to cast those.
Actually, yeah, we would have tents because remember you said we can. We basically would have packed all the stuff we needed for traveling.
Essentially,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, anything that you's needed, I suppose. Yeah, I said anything that you's needed. I'm just going to assume that you's have, without having to go through the rigmarole of like
Going on actually buying it.
purchase and everything. Yeah, so yeah, you'd have tents. You'd have tents.
We
Still
could probably
just
put tents up
take
like a
those-
ring.
Yeah, just take those out of the bag of holding, set them up.
Yeah, just like we'll kind of like put them in a ring so we can kind of ward off the wind as best as possible.
And I'll be stacking warm rocks and all the tents to heat them inside.
Is there a good position slightly away and up from camp that we could use for watching? Because if
Yeah.
we're now surrounded by tents, that's not great on the visuals.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true.
Yeah, so your prestidigitation lasts for up to an hour, by the way, on each rock
Yeah.
that you cast it on. So at some
After
point
that, we'll
during
be
the
asleep,
night, yeah,
so-
everyone will be asleep, but you will be cold. Very cold.
Well, we'll be in tents. It won't be too bad.
Everyone snuggle with a buddy.
Epic burners.
Laurie will offer to take first watch. She has dark vision, so
Kalessa's gonna go second from her sleep time after.
I can go third. I don't mind.
I should probably go when there's dawn, just because I can't see shit.
Okay, so you're on last one then. So Cass gets to sleep tonight.
Yes.
I'll also cast Song of Rest on everybody, but I don't think we did it.
Not with long rest coming up.
Yeah.
well, could we briefly wake Kess up at like at the end of second watch so he could heat up our stones again?
Sure.
You would
Yeah.
not have a full rest then though.
Worth
No.
it.
Oh.
To be woke up to be casting spells and then they go back to sleep.
But wouldn't that mean that nobody on watch would full rest either? So
You're not doing. You can essentially do minor things like you read a book or something. But if you're going to be up casting spells, then even if it's just cantrips or whatever, having to cast like fucking 20 instances of a cantrip, I
Yeah,
would
fair
consider more than.
Oh, I was thinking more you would only do it like 4 times, but that's fair. That's fair.
Everyone huddle together and get that one big rock. Nah, that's fair enough. That makes sense too.
Well, everyone just share a tent.
yeah.
Is it camping?
If that's the crack, we could like maybe have if we've got all these tents and we're only going to use one, we could like circle them and almost like puts up like an awning over the top so we could actually have a fire and like put a fire break around so you can't really see it from anywhere else. It might get a little bit smoky, but it'll keep us warm. Let's go all Boy Scout on it.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then there's no need for Cass to even really do much with the prestidigitation other than for comfort, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll in that case, I'll heat up a couple of rocks and just give them to Laurie so she can on her first
Keep
watch.
my bum warm while I'm on watch.
Yeah.
All right then. So Laurie, you're on first watch. Give me perception.
7. But I am alert, if that helps, so I can't be surprised while I'm awake.
Yeah, you spend the evening here. It's kind of a bare, rock face here. Like these foothills are sort of empty. You don't see much.
I'm just cold.
Plus,
Looking
Plus-
longingly at the tents.
plus Tiki being a dragonborn fell immediately asleep at the first hint of a hot rock.
That's racist.
Oh, wow.
Not all Dragonborn. What's this, man?
I'm a different dragon, not a lizard.
I'm imagining Tiki under one of those like hot spotlights now.
Just basking.
I'm like bearded dragon, yeah.
Do you
In
have
armor.
Do you have anything you want to do during your watch other than just keep watch?
She's probably going to continue like just talking at Torm. Like she doesn't really know a whole lot about religion as a formal idea. She's just going to assume like talking to him's a good thing.
All right. Then
But like in her head, not out loud.
okay, that's important. So for second
Yes.
watch, it's Calissa.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Gonna
a
read some more books.
make a perception check.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, you're.
Eh,
The important part of your watch, not the book reading.
that's debatable.
During your watch, you hear like a decently big sized roar, and about 200 feet down the hill, you see emerging from a cave an enormous bear. It is fucking huge. And it wanders down into the forest.
Okay.
And
So
you're
kind
looking,
of-
yeah, you're looking at a bear that is maybe at like its shoulder height is about 9 feet.
Oh
Wow.
shit!
Big bear.
Yeah. You're looking at
Very,
a
very big bear.
giant bear.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fur to catch fire, though.
No, we're gonna make him our friend and then we're gonna expand.
I was going to
his
say,
house.
we're going to adopt
yeah.
him as a snuggle buddy.
Could you imagine?
That's like a walking fur coat right there.
Man.
Just
You're
go in
looking
its
at maybe 2 or 3 fur coats there, to be fair.
Arts and crafts.
Oh god.
like go in its cave while it's in the forest, and it's just packed to the rafters with fucking picnic baskets.
Hey, boo boo.
God damn it, Yogi!
Who didn't put their food in the bin? Huh?
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
So essentially, with that, your rest passes with really not much else there. The bear doesn't come back during your watch.
Good.
So third watch is Margaret.
Yep. That's
All
me.
right.
I just give him like a slight kick into his side. It's like, yo,
Does it hurt your foot?
you're up. Up.
Yes.
Right, Margaret. Your watch begins, and it's starting to be early morning. You're going to start reaching dawn because your watch was quite. You
Yeah.
went to sleep quite late.
Mhm.
Give me a perception.
Oof.
It's pretty bad.
Yes.
It's a 3.
Yeah, the only thing you manage to see is this enormous bear returning to its cave. You see it stalking up the hill, and in its mouth, it's got 2 orcs.
He's a good bear.
And they are hanging limply, quite clearly dead.
So let's not annoy the bear because it might eat us too. Is the bear like? Is it possibly like is it a religious kind of thing? You know, is it like the pet of like any gods or
Make a religion check.
or like protector of the mountains kind of shit? Where'd that go? Nope, just a fucking bear.
Even with the religion check, it's like you're racking your brain to try and find any knowledge of like some sort of like bear of significance, but you're not really sure. Make a follow-up nature check.
Alrighty. Nature.
Yeah, during the ramblings at some point with Corlin, you probably would have heard something about protector spirits.
Mhm.
And this bear could be one of them, but you're not sure. It could just be a fucking huge bear.
And these would Coralon have reached out to these spirits whenever he's telling things to eat, or not to hinder us, or would it have just been?
If it was a spirit, if that is a guardian spirit of the forest, then it will know not to annoy you.
Right.
If it is just a bear, it looks like it could be really hungry.
All right. Okay.
Two orcs is not going to fill that bear.
That's fair. Yep.
Also, it'll taste horrible.
Oh, is it basically fucking salmon fishing in that gorge?
Yep.
Orcs sprinting up. It's like I'm gonna have that.
It's essentially just going to the edge of the gorge where it can get to something, just fucking slapping them out of and just grabbing them with its teeth and moving.
All right.
It's
Tight.
essentially salmon fishing there.
Yeah.
Except against fucking giant orcs.
I'm happy to let it just fish and not eat us instead. It's not bothering us. Let's not bother it.
So other than that,
last watch.
Yeah, last watch.
I'll let Cass know exactly as well where the bear was coming from and going to, and
Tiki.
try not to shit himself. Oh, Tiki, sorry, okay. I'll let Tiki know where it is and where it's kind of gone into the cave and that.
Ooh, was it fluffy?
It was majorly fluffy.
I hope I see it again.
So your watch is now mid-morning. It's like 9 a.m. It's a lot. It's a lot later than you're used to in Final Watch, but you went to bed a lot earlier or a lot later as well. And yeah, give me a perception check, but I'll say give me it at advantage.
Another one?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that one. There was typing. I just didn't even see it. Yeah, it's morning here, and there's really not much going on. Ahead of you to the west, you can see the gorge. So far into the distance now that it's very small. It doesn't look like it could be big. It looks like a little tiny river running through the forest from this distance and this elevation. But beyond that, this beyond the apparent the bear that people seen, which you did not. This is a desolate part of the land. These foothills to this mountain don't seem to have much going for them.
Oh well.
So your watch passes, everyone seems to be rested, and they start rousing. But you're looking at like an 11 a.m. start, everybody.
I guess I'll get the breakfast done.
Calissa will remember this.
And you know what, Calissa? It didn't even feel like a lion either. Because you had to do second watch. It's like, they still could have let you lay a little longer.
Would have been
Oh.
good.
I still remember the way she woke up made Redstream.
I still remember the way Mage Redstream woke her up.
Hmm.
Oh, good times. Do you remember when times were good?
Yeah. We didn't have like legions of orcs coming out of Satan's asshole.
Actually,
Yeah.
thinking about it, and this would probably be something I would have thought of last night. But we would have cold weather gear because we plan to go over a mountain.
You have cold weather gear.
It's still
Sleep in it.
cold.
Yeah, you would have cold weather gear ready in your bag of holding. Because you had cold weather gear, or relative gear, for when you were traveling the first time to Okinawa, because you're not in an exactly warm place up there.
Fair.
So you would have clothes for cold days. But then you bought all the lighter stuff going to the desert.
Mm.
So yeah, you could be bundled up if you wanted, for sure.
Melissa,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to check something with you. Are we in one of your like nightmares or dreams?
I hope not.
Okay.
That could be bad.
Make a wisdom check. Insight check, Laurie.
4.
She says that, but how can you really be sure?
Yeah, Kesper's going to walk backwards past the place speaking in tongues.
And you can insight that as well.
I feel like I'm at wisdom saves at that point.
Yeah, you can wisdom save if you would like.
Oh, shit, make me.
7.
Get the performance on.
Yeah, you are unsure anymore. Did you even wake up?
Jesus.
When I see the look, I'm like, I'm only kidding. It's a joke.
I'm gonna go sit down with my head in my hands and try not to cry.
That's what a Dreamcast we were trying to trick you would say.
Stop your scaring the lass.
Yeah, he seems pretty convincing. He's definitely taking the piss out of you. It's just a joke.
It's just a prank, bro.
I mean some Bradbury.
Just send Bernard over to comfort her. There you go.
So
Dog.
breakfast in the morning. It's as good as you're gonna get. Really, you're running out of food.
Trying to lift everybody's spirits with a rousing performance.
Can I tell them to shut the fuck up? There's a bear down the hill.
It's the first time we've heard about a bear, Cass.
Oh shit.
There's a bear?
What bear?
I'm gonna look
A
at
pretty
Tiki.
fucking
There's a
big
bear?
one.
How big a bear?
It's so fluffy, I think. I
Yeah,
didn't see it
who's-
again, did I?
No,
You've seen the bear, yeah.
Morgan and Calissa have seen it.
I don't. I think they said it's a bear.
Yeah.
They said it's very fluffy, but I didn't see it.
Gonna get the old spyglass out and have a look at the cave.
From this angle, you can see the mouth of the cave barely.
Hey.
It's on the same like face of the mountain as you. So it's you can't see into it from here. But you can see the opening is big enough to fit something of like 10 feet by the shoulder. Yeah, it's definitely big enough for that.
I'll pick my my loot back up and start playing more quietly. And worse.
Just in case there's a bear. So the morning passes, the morning routine passes of wake up, make sure everything's in order, get some food, and you're looking at midday by the time you're ready to start traveling again. So you begin to push on again, knowing that Laurie is like dead set on getting there. Laurie is like out front. I'd say at this point, Laurie, you'd now be moving at a pace that you're the one in front.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need a survival check from you.
Sure thing. 18. That's a good roll.
Yeah, there's an obvious path through the mountain to follow. It's very easy to like make your way through here, and as you pass around the mountain, you go up quite a bit, and you're quite high up now. And from this point in the mountain, I would say you're around the east side of the mountain face, looking so you'll be able to see north, south, and but in the west. Make a perception check from here, everybody, with advantage considering your elevation.
Like that's gonna help.
It might. Yeah, it did. Yep.
Yeah, for you.
So, Casimir, Tiki, Morgan, you're able to see from here. It's just something that you catch, you just notice as you're looking out over. Calissa and Laurie, you can like see all the way to the sea. Cass and Tiki and Morgan, you realize that you're not seeing the sea. There's a far enough to the east, there's a drop off, maybe a huge cliff, but from where you're looking, it looks like this is not on the land. This is not.
Flat Earthers were right.
You're floating in the air. This is a moat of land that is currently hovering above the ground below. It's really weird. You're quite obviously floating, but you're not moving. You're just this like lump of land wherever this is locked in place. The moon hasn't moved from your perspective. It's up there still in the day. But you can understand why now portals are needed and why a lot of these places are very rudimentary. As you look from this perspective in the distance, the three of you who rolled high enough in perception, you can see other earth motes floating at a distance quite far away. You can see a great landmass in the far distance. Like, you're talking, the only way you'd be able to discern anything about it would be with a natural 20, and even then you would not be able to discern details. And then as you take a chance to look down, like from this angle past the corner of the edge of this land, and then all the way down to the under the landmass, you see on the east it's there's like a sea, but to the north, it looks like a frozen land underneath, way down, like thousands and thousands of feet down. Below where you're like suspended, there is a frozen wasteland down there.
What are you all looking at? Hurry up!
Can I just check to see if the rings work now?
That's
We're further from
exactly
the
what I
east.
was going to do.
Yeah, you can. You attempt to broadcast something into the ring, and literally there's no response. Nobody else knows that you're trying to do it.
Okay.
Casimir, same with you. The rings just are not working.
So turn to rings. It's still fucked.
So if we
What do you mean
walk,
the rings are fucked?
They don't seem to be working.
We tried using them yesterday over the gorge.
Hopefully they get better.
you're not able to hear things that we say, we speak into them, are you? Like very questioningly.
No.
No, Calissa specifically.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't have a ring, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say Calissa doesn't have a ring.
Can I insight that to make sure she's not reading my mind?
Sure, go for it.
Just the way
So
she
it's
said
fake.
that. No, the way you said that was sketchy as fuck.
Oh, why is this not working? Character sheet, please.
Yeah, I just rolled an insight. It's not working for me.
Yeah.
Yay,
My deception's not coming up.
up.
You just said. So mine's a +8. I'll like /R.
Simple.
It says it's rolling a dice.
No, my character sheet's not loading anymore as well.
Well, that is a
Hey.
critical fail
Well.
on deception, so... Oh, that's...
There you go. That's all the
all-
rest of the clicks.
All the rest of them were so good,
Yeah.
and yet you critically failed.
Mhm.
Yeah, she is not reading your mind.
I can't be sure. No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
So as you push on, because Laura is like, why are you doing anything except walking? You're pushing to try and get to the peak of the mountain, where during the message you had seen the portal, and Casimir, you have a very like strong like instinct that's telling you the top of the mountain is where you need to go, and you feel it coming from your right hand where the key was absorbed.
Okay. I'll take the lead then.
So you just continue up the pass, and it gets snowy near the peaks. It becomes a little difficult to trudge through. It's quite exposed, and I'm going to need con saves from everyone who is not currently being heated in any way.
I was actually just about to say on the way up,
Perfect.
I'll be using Mage Hand, picking up rocks, heating them, just pass them out as we go.
That's perfectly fine. Con saves
one
are
first.
unnecessary.
Oh,
Yeah, boy.
hallelujah.
The mountain peak, once you get up here, you realize that it is sort of like a flat topped plateau. And once you breach up here, you see that on this flat plane here, there in the center, there is a stereotypical fantasy portal, and
If we know the sort.
Is it like a Stargate?
It's more like a Warcraft portal.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm about that.
it's free floating, elliptical, and you can't quite see what's inside it. It's not exactly giving you an image of the other side, but from here, everyone is able to see on the edge, off the edges, you're able to see like the fact that this is quite clearly a floating moat of land, and you can see the others. Below you can see a vast wasteland of ice extending to the north, the west, and the south. The sea is only really on the east, far, far out. And Cass, something's telling you that your hand is like you can make a fist and know that it's pulling you towards the portal. The key is like now melded into you, and as you were told by Carlin, what you have to do is put your hand into the portal to activate it.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I wouldn't resist it. I'll just straight up and plunk it in and see what happens.
Okay, so the portal itself is like an elliptical shaped purple, and as you put your hand towards it, it like little bits of it like reach out towards your hand and like connect with your hand as you put your hand in, and you quite clearly feel like what feels like a lock, and your hand, like your arm, feels like a key, and you turn counterclockwise, and it goes from purple to like a light blue, and as you take your hand out, you can see that the portal now grows in size and swells to about 7 feet tall, and inside you can see what looks like open plains, just expansive open plains on the inside.
I guess I should go last just in case it traps anybody on this side. After you.
I will go through with like one last look over my shoulder at everyone.
What order are people going through in?
I'll go afterwards.
Okay, so Laurie, Morgan,
Then Cass and Kalissa, I suppose.
Kesvir's going to go last just in case the port would snap shut after he goes through.
I'll go second to last.
so Laurie, Morgan, Kalissa, Tiki,
And Bernard.
and Cassavir.
Mhm.
Okay, as each you step through the portal, it's like you're being spun, but on a really weird axis. You're not being spun around like you see kids playing, spinning around in circles. It's like you're locked facing forwards and you are spinning on that axis, like the forward axis. Your head goes to where your feet are and you spin in a circle like that.
Ooh.
And
Fuck, it's just like Erie, Indiana.
it takes a second and that sensation completely disappears. You're the right way up, and when you manage to blink and open your eyes, we'll pick up next time to describe the new land that you find yourself on the other side of the portal.
Hey.
Yeah, boy.
Yay!
But I guess, thanks for playing.
Well, thanks very much.
Thanks for gaming.
Everybody who was hanging out in chat, thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. Now that I'm not a complete sack of shit, this will go up on YouTube. The other episodes are also available on YouTube. You can find them. I'll be able to actually link them, to be fair.
Stevie,
Yeah.
to totally be that player, do we get XP?
Yeah, you
Oh,
absolutely do, yeah. No, you did all that, and I'm not giving you anything.
Fuck yes.
Because I think last time you fixed our experience, right? But I don't know if we got any
No,
from that session.
I gave you experience,
Okay.
and you didn't put it. Like 3 of you didn't put it in.
Sounds about right.
Sounds
I
like
don't know
that.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, not to be
Rascals.
not to be that DM, but
And like, I'll end up being that player.
yeah, I went through and had to fix your XPs because some of you weren't updated. So right now you are all right with
28,300.
300.
Yes, that's correct. And some of you were sitting at 26,000, I believe.
Idiots.
You got 2k XP for the last session. So did you get? I don't think you got a year experience though. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that makes
No,
sense.
we had any for that.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I will give you the experience of for a year and the Trial of Valor, and with this batch as well. But the Jordan, you just get experience in chat as well. To be
Got the
fair,
experience our amazing game.
to be fair, quite literally, I have a Streamlabs extension that tracks points where people are in the chat, so you are genuinely getting points. So, yes,
Yes, lad, I'm 5th.
you sure are. But the link in chat, the YouTube playlist, is all the episodes that have been streamed so far, from the encounter into from the encounter with the dragons through. So if you want to catch up, that is the place to start. If you want to watch more like this episode and you didn't see it all, follow me on Twitter at YoungJinxie, and I will tweet out an updated link once I download and re-upload or whatever, depending on if there's anything to change. And until the next time, for Oldguard next Thursday, we're gonna say goodbye. But I will be around streaming again later tonight, say maybe an hour or so. So if you're looking for some chicken dinner, that's the place to be, because we're gonna be playing PUBG. So good night, guys. To the players, thank you very much for playing, and I'll see you next time for Oldguard.